To summarize chapter one, what happened was that the teachers and the principal found out like what was happening to David, and so they took action, called the cops. The cops came and took David and cleared all that up. In chapter two, it was all like remembering on how good his life was before his mom went crazy, and like with his dad, Christmases, holidays, and all that. Does anyone have any questions like they would like to start up?
I've got one question for chapter one is why do you think that the teachers took such initiative to help David in the first place? I'd like to hear your guys' insight on that.
I just think that they didn't like seeing the poor, helpless kid come to school starving, being dirty and beaten. And just, I don't think anybody would want to see that. It makes you want to do something to help them.
Yeah, and also had the problem with him stealing lunches from other kids and digging through the dumpsters. Well, not dumpsters, but the trash cans throughout the school. Um, I have another question. Why do you think the kids interpreted David's appearance the way that they did?
I believe they mainly did that because he smelled really bad. He had holes in his shoes, pants, um, in his shirt. He like always smelled really bad because he was never allowed to take a bath, and so they took him as like nasty kid and then just basically outcasted him
Yeah.
throughout the school.
They, a lot of kids at that age, especially, discriminate really fast. I just think you're just a little different. You smell funny, you're dirtier, something.
Yeah, kids are also very honest because they don't know how to lie yet.
Not just that. Some kids like they think, oh, he doesn't care about what he looks like. He doesn't care about what he's wearing. He doesn't care like about anything. He's stealing like lunches. He doesn't really care about anything. So they just interpret him as a bad kid.
Okay, so then if we can open our books to page 13, there's a little excerpt out of there on page 13. If I could get there myself. So, page 13, closer to the bottom, after the cop calls, he says, or the book says, he hangs up the phone and smiles. Now, that wasn't so hard, was it? He asks me. But the look on his face tells me that he's reassuring himself more than he is me. Why do you think David seemed to think that the cop was reassuring himself rather than David?
Well, out
David still thinks he's gonna be beat.
also David David already knows what's gonna happen to him if his mom was called. Now the cop, after seeing what his mom can do, what will the cop do to possibly him?
Yeah, I think that after seeing the stab wound,
I think at
especially,
this point he still believes that he's going to jail, right?
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
David thought that he was going to be going to jail or juvie because he was stealing the lunches and being a bad boy, quote unquote. But no, I think really, especially after seeing the stab wound on David, I mean, I think I would be completely terrified to go and arrest that woman too.
Well, he seems pretty adamant about that stab wound being an accident on her part, like it wasn't one she intended to give him.
Yes, but does the cop really know that to be true though?
Yeah,
Because
Because
David has been lying about all the bruises and cuts and all that stuff, like him bumping into a cabinet or a wall,
or hitting his head on the door on the way in.
or
Yeah,
even though he said that Monday when he was caught.
Yeah, because the nurse had an entire record of what this kid would say. That's just incredible. Isaac, do you have any questions?
No, no.
Any input that you'd like to put in?
This changes the subject, but
Go ahead.
I have a question on, don't have the exact page, but why do you think his father left him?
Okay.
I think honestly don't think his father left. More of some like possibly could have happened to him because they don't explain it yet.
Yeah.
In chapter 2, it just remembers some like good memories on how his dad was.
Well, it did mention in chapter 2 that he was a firefighter
Yeah,
and
it's
working 24-hour shifts.
it's like that could have taken effect in like
Yeah.
at one of the job, like a job, and then just
So pretty much
Well,
David was
according
home
to
alone.
like near the beginning, he says his dad's just not in the picture. He said he's dead.
oh yeah, not in the picture, but like
Yeah, because of the fact that he works as a firefighter and
mhm.
works 24-hour shifts at a time. So no, he's not in the picture, but he is in the picture, so to speak.
Mhm.
Kat, do you have any questions? Scotty?
My question is, what do you think drove his mother to like start hitting him?
Like that also could kind of tie into the dad, like on why he left or like why he
I was
possibly
thinking-
died.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It's like maybe it's just a grieving process that she hasn't gotten over, and like, or the kids were like being super bad one day and she just snapped. But these kids seem to be good kids, and this has been going on for a while. So
Yeah, and even from my personal experience, families have been torn apart because of drugs. Now, these kids may not have ever known that their mother was on any kind of drugs that could have made her think that that's not her kid or think that her kid is bad, which makes her
lash out.
go ahead and lash out and completely and utterly shatter this boy's entire being. That could be another reason why she had completely snapped.
And it doesn't have to be drugs either. The kid could just look like his father, and then she just like, you know,
Unleashes.
yeah.
No, that's possible. I was also thinking about another question for a bit was how could you stab your kid accidentally? Mm-hmm.
That's a very good
That was
question.
a question I thought about when I remembered that he said that the stabbing was an accident.
I don't know, but
This is like-
she did say it was an accident. He actually seemed pretty adamant about that one.
Yeah.
It was, I think he even said something about his mom patching him up afterwards.
Yeah.
I don't know what page it said it on. It's like, I'm gonna look for it
It's
real
near
quick.
the beginning.
I know that. I know it's like when she finds it.
Policeman. Then the nurse has me stand up and show the policeman the scar on my chest without
Yes.
hesitation. I tell them it was an accident, which it was. Mother never meant to stab me. I cry as I spill my guts, telling them mother punishes me because I am bad. Okay. So on page 5, David's mother goes ahead and drops him off at school. The 2 peanut butter sandwiches and a few carrot sticks. Before I bolt out of the car again, she says, Tell them you ran into the door. Then, in a voice she rarely uses with me, she states, Have a nice day. I look into her swollen red eyes. she still has a hangover from last night's stupor.
So she could be a
Why? Yeah, why do you
She's
think
definitely
that
is a
she
drunk
uses that kind voice and actually tells her son to have a good day for once in her life?
If she's actually not completely drunk.
Yeah, I think she might be an alcoholic with that line. So like her actually now waking up, realizing that she's like talking to her son, have a nice day, and actually sincerely meaning it, other than just eating him senseless.
Yes, but he still has to accomplish his chores every morning in order to get his breakfast. He has to earn.
Alcoholics do not care what time of day it is; they will drink no matter what. I lived with one. I'm living with one constantly, but no longer anymore.
Yeah, and
I've known people that would just wake up, first thing they do is crack beer and just go.
Like it's
They're
4 in the
not
morning.
dead, but
Beer time.
yeah,
he's luckily not abusive. He's just drunk all the time.
okay, and Abner, do you have any other questions that you might want to add on into this?
No, it kind of covers most of my questions. Either do you want?
You have one more question?
Yeah, it's in top of page 5, the third sentence. Why do you think he says he's only acting scared when his mother threatens him with, your uncle will take care of you?
Okay, so yeah, she says Uncle Dan will take care of me. She makes it a threat. I give her a frightened look as if I'm truly afraid, but I know that even though my uncle is but I know that um, even though my uncle is a hard-nosed man, he surely won't treat me like mother does. So the reason that he is not truly afraid is because he's not going to get beaten there, and he knows it. He's going to be fed. He's going to be at least decently taken care of.
He's still doing chores, but it's not gonna be like doing beating to death.
He knows his uncle won't treat him like his mother does.
And he acts scared because he doesn't let his mom to change his mind. Her mind
Yeah.
about food.
Yeah, because he wants to be treated nicely for once in his life, or at least somewhat like an equal. Anything else that anybody would like to add?
Kind of covers that question.
So he's like broken. Like they were living in a nice neighborhood and everything. What do you think made him go broke?
Alcoholism. Like the mom could have been just
Why don't they start drinking if they're living in such like a big area?
it could have been like just one celebration, like gone really good. She enjoyed herself. She just had more, had more, had more, and just
And-
couldn't stop. The dad had enough of it and just either left or something happened that caused her to keep drinking more. Just it kept piling on and on and on, till she was just out of control.
My guess is there's probably a fight between the mom and the dad, and dad just kind of left and she started drinking and stopped. And then they lost the house, so they had to get cheap. She gained weight. As they said, she was skinny.
She was
Yeah,
average.
once-
She was average.
Was
Once
average.
beautiful.
Beautiful, average, but can never remember her eyes or her hair color.
There you go. Good job there. All right. Anything else before we end this? Before we end the discussion? All right, Abner.
Questions?
Cue.